Yo, what's going on, peoples?
What's going on, everybody? You know, it's off the ropes. Back
Boxing
with
MMA,
another,
man. We're back.
yeah, back with another one. Here we are, guys. It's Monday.
It's been
Hope everybody had a good work weekend, or if you were working, if you were off, hope it was a good weekend because I had an all right weekend. I just, of
because we're
course, had
back
to
on the
work
grind.
nights.
Everybody's back on the grind now.
Yes, we are.
No more vacation.
Yeah, none, man,
Well, I don't
none.
know. I can. I can at least.
Well,
No,
good.
but
What's
man,
going
man,
on?
but not much, man. It's been a lot of things going on this week too, man. But first of all, I mean, there's two big time birthdays, man, for two big time fighters. The well known fighters. Starting off with the great, great George Foreman, turned 73 years old today.
Yeah, and Felix Tito Trinidad, 43.
Man, 30
January
year
10th,
difference,
two greats,
30 years
As far as
apart.
Tito, I definitely remember a good majority of his career. To me, one standout fight that stood out the most to me was, of course, the Fernando Vargas. So many things, I think Vargas was a little too young, a little too green, but I mean, you can't question his toughness, man. And that's exactly what Fernando Vargas did, is he brought it every time. And George Foreman, I mean, fought Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier. He won a championship at the age of 43 against Michael Moore. I mean, dude, what can you say?
He's,
Again, happy birthday to these two greats.
yeah, and also, George Foreman has his grills. Everybody remember that?
Kids
um,
and grandkids and daughters named after him. George, Georgette. It's funny, dude.
Jeez Louise.
It's pretty dope.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man, but hey, man, just tell you what, let's get into it, brother. I mean, we've been talking a little bit off of the show, about the buzz going around.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I mean, first
So
things first, we'll
we've
get right
been,
into it.
yeah. I mean, we're
You're the
hearing
one
a
that
lot.
told me about this. You're the one that told me
Yes.
about this. And it surprised me because everybody, social media, YouTube, I mean, Mike Coppinger, come on, man. Like, this is
Everybody is
not a good
reporting
look.
is reporting this, and
Yeah.
you mentioned to me the other day. Yeah, I mean, this is gonna happen. This is gonna happen. But like I told you, I said this come out of Eddie's. This come out of Eddie's mouth. Did this come out of Canelo's mouth yet? Because this is when I
Yeah.
believe it. And
Yeah.
I
You're
mean,
absolutely right.
today Eddie shut that down. Eddie shut down a lot of us. I mean, yeah, what a good fight. I mean, we're expecting actually a butt kicking of a fight because I do not expect Charlo to go past 7 rounds if that fight were to ever happen.
Yeah.
Um, um, I mean, no disrespect to Charlo, but I mean it's just the levels and the bag that he wants and would be his biggest bag to date.
Yeah.
Uh,
It
um,
definitely would be. I mean, if you want to go ahead and read what Eddie Reynoso put, he actually posted this today
yeah. So
around one
anyway,
o'clock, so 12:40 p.m.
so he put buenas tardes. Respeto a la próxima pelea de Canelo. No hay ninguna negociación con ningún promotor ni rival ni fecha. La próxima semana tendremos algo. And then he's pretty much just said, there's nothing in stone. They haven't even talked to anybody. That goes on to all his rivals too. Right now in the division. From Benavides, Charlo, Boo Andrades. He hasn't talked to nobody yet.
Yeah, there's
Um,
nothing set in stone, and I think we've seen it. Canelo and I think Eddie Reynoso have said this before that he doesn't really ever know who he's gonna fight. So like Eddie Reynoso, I don't know if he's excited because he knows his fighter is gonna fight these really good guys, Macaboo, Joe Smith Jr., Charlo. I mean,
Benavides. I mean, you can
Benavides,
name.
yeah, all these
You
names out there,
just keep
man.
going.
So
Yeah.
I don't know if something behind the scenes where Canelo was like, look, unless I say to you directly, like, don't put it out there. So
Well,
I
he
don't know
said that
where.
to Charlo one time already. Charlo put that out there, and he's already punked Charlo one time about
Yeah,
this.
yeah,
I mean, so
exactly.
this isn't nothing new. That's the reason I had told you before, like, kind of wait on this because I want to see if it's really true.
Yeah, and the crazy thing, it's
Considering Mike Copinger, I mean, he's been wrong before, but I mean, to me, just get the facts right a little bit, before any of this comes out. I mean, because now you have the whole boxing world going crazy.
yeah, I don't know. What I think is, I think he has his inside people.
Yes.
But I think what as far as any of the people that he got his news wrong from, they want to be the first ones to report. And Mike Coppinger, he is a pretty good reporter for ESPN, but
Yeah.
I just think that's what it is. I think they just want him to kind of look, let us, until I'd say it from my mouth directly, not from somebody that that's has close ties to us. Don't say anything yet.
Yeah.
Just hold on.
Eddy Reynosos also, I mean, and another translation too. He also said wait till next week too because they're pretty much looking at all their options right now,
Mhm.
and I'm pretty sure by next week we'll know something, on the lines of who Canelo will fight, what division he will fight in, and because I think Markibu fights next weekend, correct, or 2 weeks,
Yeah.
and
It's in 2 weeks.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Mac-
I mean that fight's coming up pretty soon. So I mean, is this fight intriguing to Canelo more because he wants to win a title in another division, or is this just something to create buzz for now until we could find
yeah.
out actually if he's gonna stay at lightweight, light heavyweight, or if he's gonna continue at super middle?
Yeah.
But I mean that's yet to be seen.
I mean, I see what you're saying. I think actually a majority of everybody would believe that he's gonna go for where he can go get a belt from. Obviously Macaboo or Joe Smith Jr. And not to say that these guys aren't any kind of that they're not challengers or they couldn't give Canelo any problems, but
I say
right now
Markabu
these are
could
the
probably
guys.
be the worst one because he has the knockout power and it's a different level of power in the cruiserweight.
Yeah, and
But
he doesn't fight no more than 160, 168, 175. So again, it's where to go for the belt, and I think those would be the two options. But anything can happen. I don't know. I really don't know who he's gonna go for. I think obviously would be the most reasonable would of course to stay at 168. Give us the Charlo fight, and not saying that Charlo is not any kind of competition. He got there for he got to where he got to for a reason. He's a good fighter, but the last
yeah,
couple opponents have been pretty questionable. He's not looked spectacular in his wins, but got to win nonetheless.
it's a
I
W.
would like
Yes.
to see the Charlo. Yeah, I would definitely like to see the Charlo fight next for
Yeah, I
me.
would too. Considering like I said, I really think it doesn't go past 8 rounds. Like that's just honest opinion. Just because Charlo out of field doesn't have the movement, doesn't have the style to beat Canelo.
Yeah,
I just think Canelo's just too powerful in that matchup.
yeah. I mean, these guys. I mean, yeah, I pick Canelo, of course. I just
Yeah,
wouldn't say like a blowout. Yeah,
yeah,
I do
I
think
think it
Charlo does have some
is.
attributes. I mean, that's your opinion, and I'm sure a lot of people think the same way that Canelo's going to probably blow him out, or they think it's going to be a competitive fight. I think at the end of the day, like they're both professional fighters, they're going to respect each other. It's not like Canelo's going to be like, you know what, I'm just going to run right through this guy because I know I can. Because at any given moment, anything can happen. All it just takes is one good shot to land. In the middle of exchanges, you're not seeing a shot from behind, from around your guard behind with a left hook, and the next moment, you're waking up like, what the hell just happened? So, I think it'd be a competitive fight. I don't think 7 rounds. If that was to happen, I think it would go a little further than that. I mean, not everybody thought Caleb Plant was going to go 10 or 11, and look what happened there.
Yeah, but Canelo made a show out of it after the sixth round. I mean, that's pretty much what he did. Well, in
Yeah,
that fight, I mean, talking about Caleb Plant, I mean, he's talking trash to Charlo too. I mean, he wants some of the smoke too. He
Yeah.
figures he's better than him too. So I mean, what fight do you think would get made? You know, like what intrigues you more? A Plant Charlo fight to get to Canelo again,
I mean, we could get
or
when we get to that. Yeah, I mean, I know like right now we kind of do have, kind of like what we're trying to follow. I mean, we will speak about that a little bit later, but I guess I mean, shoot, honestly, I think that would be a good fight as well too to happen next, and that wouldn't surprise me, especially considering that Charlo is wanting to get in there with Canelo. Um, but let's see, man. But
and Caleb
we
Plant got
know,
in there. He lasted 11 rounds, but everybody knows what happened.
yeah, he did last. He did go 11. He got beat up pretty bad,
Yeah, I
but
mean, but you can't say. I mean, he went in with the best and gave it his best. I guess you can say, and but like I said, I mean, it could be a whole different style fight. When it comes to Charlo and him.
yeah, it can be.
That would actually be a damn good fight, just considering the styles are pretty much kind of equal. They're kind of they kind of resemble each other in fight wise, fight style wise, and so that'll be a hard one, kind of to decide who wins that.
Yeah, for sure. And on to the next topic. We've talked about this one happening before. Everybody sees it as well.
Hmm.
This one for sure is most likely going to happen.
Yeah, it's
Isaac
just the
Cruz
behind the
and yeah, Isaac Cruz and Isaac Cruz and Ryan Garcia. And
today, Junior.
yeah, no, for sure. You know what? I feel like I'm getting a delay right now. I don't know why, because I feel like I hear myself talking, then it kind of
Yeah,
like cuts out. So I'm not too sure what's going on. Is there like a
it's
delay?
been no. This I mean, you're good. I mean, I
Okay,
could hear
cool,
you. It's
cool.
probably just your camera, but like I said, I mean, going back to what you're talking about, Ryan Garcia and Isaac Cruz. I mean, an intriguing fight to us all, considering what Isaac Cruz was able to do against Tank Davis.
Yeah, yeah. And
I
this
think
one
I
goes
think
back
this.
to
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm
no,
sorry.
I said this obviously goes back to like the week or two, or even I think the day after Tank and Cruz fought, and of course Ryan Garcia loves to jump on social media, and
Hmm.
like I could be him quicker. Is Tank Davis overrated because he couldn't knock him out? Um, that's his opinion, but like I said, this goes back to to December, and
Yeah, it goes back pretty far. I mean, considering, like we said, I mean, a star was born the night Cruz fought Tank Davis. I mean, we knew
yeah,
who he was. We knew who he was already, considering we're boxing, like big time boxing fans. We knew what he can do. We knew what he's capable of. But I just feel the style wasn't meant for Tank to knock out. The style that Ryan brings, I think, would have a little bit more effect on an Isaac Cruz and possibly a Tank Davis down the road. You know,
mm,
but I mean, Ryan Garcia, like we've talked about it already, until I see you back in the ring, until I see you actually back in the ring, then I could actually say something good about you again. I mean, considering, I mean, you are still a favorite fighter of mine. I mean, I sent you a video on Instagram a little while ago what Canelo was talking about, considering this may be Ryan Garcia's last chance.
yeah,
Like enough games. I mean, we've seen it TikTok after TikTok after TikTok. I mean, this no more. I mean, now it's time to put the pedal to the metal and get in the damn ring.
yeah. It is not just the TikToks,
Yeah,
it's
it's everything.
I mean,
All
yeah, I
social
mean,
media.
yeah, social media. It's unfortunate if it was depression that he was going through,
Yes.
or if he really had an injured hand, or I mean, okay,
I
or
mean, he
should I
did
say,
have injured hand. I mean,
if
apparently.
he did injure it, okay, I'm sure it was injured, but was it injured during training, or was it something that was like nagging, from previous fights or previous years? Just like a lot of people speculated that Earl Spence had an eye injury that he never spoke up about for years. So it
Yeah,
could have been one of those
disclosed.
things where he said, you know what, you, what I think honestly is in the Campbell fight, I think something kind of maybe triggered in him a little bit, like, damn, you know what? I actually can be touched. I actually can be hurt, maybe this isn't what I really want is to get hurt again. And yeah, he called out Tank Davis right away. He'll schedule a fight Fortuna, then he'll schedule to fight Davis. If it's depression, I understand, because there's a lot of people going through that, and a lot of people are going through depression and all sorts and all types of different depressions.
And you can say what you want about it, but like I said, people go through different shit.
Yeah, no, it's exactly what I'm saying. Is some people deal with with depressions differently. Just because he's rich, he's famous, he's a good looking kid, he's on social media, doesn't mean that he's not going through whatever he's going through, or he has demons, or whatever it is.
I mean, we all carry
I'm
a
not gonna
smile
go.
like he does.
Yeah, no, it's not a bad smile. But I'm not gonna sit here and say that it was a cop out or he was trying to get out of it, but it happened. But almost pretty much immediately after Devin Haney's fight, actually, then there he is,
Talking again.
talking again, running his mouth. And not to say that there's a timetable on you going through depression or when you should actually be ready to come back and be ready for the world, because there's really not a timetable on when you should be. But I think it's just that, man. Yeah, I think that's what it is. Hand injury. I think that was something that probably he already had. Maybe he was just buying. You know what? I honestly feel like maybe he was just trying to buy some time, and it's fine, because he was in a tough fight with Campbell. He got knocked down. He went to hell and back to win that fight against him. He probably didn't realize he was that vulnerable, that somebody like a fighter like Campbell could actually hurt him. Yeah, and Campbell's a good fighter. Just Campbell's not known for knockout power or for being quick or being slick. He caught him with a shot that is one of his flaws. Yeah, he looked like he was out for a few seconds before he even hit the ground and just snapped out of it. That's how it looked like to me.
Agreed. I mean, I mean, Isaac Cruz, I mean, we don't know how much money was offered to him, but we don't know what Oscar offered, but I'm like we've talked about before too. We're thinking that what's holding this back is that Cruz wants some kind of insurance clause in case Ryan Garcia pulls shit off again, because it's happened, 3 of the last 4 fights?
Yeah, man, it definitely has happened.
I mean, look at, all the tweets you just pulled up right here about Oscar De La Hoya, saying that they've offered a substantial amount of money. I mean, we heard Chris Mannix talk about, this whole thing, it's a weird road right now, I guess you could say, Ryan Garcia is taking. I don't know if it's promotion wise or if has to do with him. But like I said, we'll figure that out.
No, you're right. And I don't think you could blame Isaac Cruz for that, for wanting some kind of insurance, like you said. I was hearing he wanted 100% of the purse, and then I heard he wanted 50% of the purse. Whatever it is, I definitely agree, because you're obviously going through all the training camps. You're the one that has to run the miles. You're the one that's putting in the work, and then for about 2 weeks later or a week before the fight, something happens, another depression episode or another hand injury, or you get COVID. So I think it's fair to say that that's not a bad thing for him to do that.
I think a lot of people are going to start doing this against him.
Yeah, hey, dude, and it's gonna. I think so. Yeah.
There's just so much going on.
Yeah, and then what Diaz did, I think, was pretty honorable. He could have waited and said, okay, well, then I'll wait till when he's ready. He wanted to get in there.
But he fought against one of the best.
Yeah, he fought against Devin Haney, and he did exceptionally well. He did really, really good.
Came up short, but
what do you think? Yeah. So you think, I guess, given the timetable, when do you think you could see this fight happen? You still think that there's a possibility for like March or April?
I think beginning of April. I think we're looking at the beginning of April, because we already got 2 other fights announced for April already.
Mm-hmm.
So not set in stone yet, but there's already 2 fights most likely set for April. We're looking at Spence Ugas.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And and a couple. It might be on that undercard. Who knows?
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. It is part of the PBC.
Yes, it is. That's exactly what makes a lot of sense to me too. Um, but like I said, it's yet to be seen on what he's gonna do, on whether he's gonna take the advice from Canelo, to just start pushing, start getting in that ring again, prove
Hmm.
prove the people wrong that are starting to doubt you now. And
Yeah, yeah, it's
that's all he can do.
possible. Yeah, and do you agree as well that both these guys need the win just as much as the other guy?
Oh
You think
yeah,
that?
no, no, that's factual. That's 100% factual right there. Like we said, Ryan Garcia needs to show the world, hey, I'm back.
Hmm.
It's time to make a statement. Or Isaac Cruz has to show, you know what, I'm here to stay in this division too. So who's next?
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah. And I think both guys give each other, nightmares as far as styles. I see like
power,
Cruz.
everything.
Yeah, I almost see Cruz almost being similar to like Duno. Like everybody said that Ryan Garcia was afraid to fight Duno, and then what happens? He goes in, he blasts Duno out in the first round. Um, but Styles, I don't think Cruz fights sloppily either. I think he's really good, tight inside fighter, and I
Well,
think
now, now that
inside.
they figured out Tank's best punch was the uppercut. He blocked that very well
Yeah, he
in the
did,
last
man.
fight. But now, I think Ryan Garcia is a more complete style boxer than Tank is, because Tank, to me, is kind of looking like he's more of a power dude. He wants to take you out. He wants
Yeah,
to take you
I
out, and
mean,
he wants to try to do it right away. No, I'm not putting it down or nothing. But the dude, he can box, but like we said, I just think Ryan Garcia has more of a boxing IQ and style than Tank does.
okay.
I think he uses more of a jab, and I think the left hook causes a lot of problems for Isaac Cruz, even knocking him down if they do fight.
Yeah.
That's just like I said, it's just an opinion right now, what goes on. But Isaac Cruz, if he can get in the guard like he did at Tank get Davis, not let him extend, not let Ryan Garcia extend in this fight, then okay, then we have a ball game.
Yeah, and I think so too. I think as being a complete fighter, I think what lacks is head movement, footwork,
Discipline, discipline.
discipline, and I really don't think he has like true toughness or grit. I mean, we've seen him get knocked down. We've also
Yeah.
seen Tank Davis take shots, but you've never seen Tank Davis in any kind of trouble. Just mainly maybe getting outpointed, especially against Santa Cruz and then against
Against
Barrios. But
Barrios,
there was never any urgency.
but
Um,
discipline, like we said, came into effect in those two fights.
yeah, and that's where I think Garcia would be difficult for him. And of course, Cruz would have to get on the inside. Um, but Garcia he's fast. He does land good shots, but I don't really see him like too much of a combination puncher. I always see him
Yeah, like
like
I
I
was
said,
saying,
taking a shot.
that left hook would be a problem for Isaac Cruz.
Yeah, I
I
think he would
mean,
have to throw more than just a left hook and
oh
a
yeah, yeah,
jab. I
no,
think
for sure.
he would
But
have to.
his jabs are popping. He has a popping jab, and if you can keep that in his face, then it's either gonna be a long night or a knockdown in the later rounds.
Yeah,
But like we said, it's yet to be seen. It's yet to come. Like I
yeah.
said,
We'll see, man. Hopefully.
hoping they can get it done. I don't see why not.
Yeah. Yeah. As long as he stayed busy, even while even with his injuries, he worked on some of the stuff that he doesn't have to spar with, work on footwork, some defense. I'm pretty sure that probably would have been the best thing for him to do was work on some kind of defense, and within the camps with Reynoso instead of just sparring and looking good, hitting the bags and stuff.
Well, look at Canelo. Canelo worked on head movement since the Mayweather fight, and I mean, against Daniel Jacobs, against Austin Trout, and people like that, he was just making them look like fools.
Yeah, I mean, it's true, but I wouldn't want to try to make a comparison to Ryan Garcia and
Oh
Canelo.
no, no, no,
That's
no, no, not at all. But I'm just saying, like, but look at
yeah.
what Canelo did, what he learned. I mean, it's something Ryan Garcia needs to learn.
Oh yeah.
You know, as moving on as a veteran fighter.
Yeah, and
I
this is
mean,
what like maybe like his going into his second year with Reynoso. So I still feel like he's still learning. He's still learning Reynoso's
ways.
style of fighting. Yeah, and you know if he's really serious about it, which I'm sure he is now, of knowing that this could possibly be his last straw or his last chance with Team Canelo. You know, hopefully he is taking it serious because we definitely would love to see. You know, he even mentioned that he would like to have like a tournament in that division, which is dope because
Which is what we've talked about too.
which
I
is what
mean,
we talked about. Yeah, we would love to see that. We would love to see him in there, mix it up with all the guys. I mean, now minus Teofimo because Teofimo's going up.
yeah.
So I still think that division isn't quite wide open. I mean, still have my two favorites. I still pick Loma
So yeah.
and Camposos like you know 1A, 1B, and then you know Tank
I mean,
Davis and Hanky
Cambosos
probably like
has the
two
one
and
A
two.
currently just because of the bouts, but
Yeah, the guy
but
that
I
beat
guess
the guy.
yeah, the guy that beat the guy. But I think Loma, in like true honest opinion, that division, Loma's gonna run that division. A healthy Loma is a dangerous Loma,
It's gonna
and
be tough to
it's.
say,
I
man.
mean, I've been saying a lot that to a lot of people. He will. He's gonna win that division. He's gonna put the division on blast for a little bit, and considering he knows he's getting older, he knows his time's coming too. You know where he has to now. He has to put the gas pedal. He has to put it floor it now, and don't look back until you either somebody either beat your ass or or you actually but go after those belts, and he wants it.
Yeah, he definitely does. And you know, the topic that we were talking about a little while ago, of course, is the Caleb Plant and Jermall Charlo. I mean, what can we say, man? That's a really good fight. Caleb Plant is the one that's actually initiating the shit talking, if you want to say.
Yep.
So
Yeah. I mean this is gonna play a lot into what Canelo does. I think. I think if Caleb Plant and Charlo do get down, I mean that leaves Canelo with Joe Smith for the IBF lightweight, light heavyweight title.
mhm.
Um, but that also puts Charlo at 168, also vacating his belts,
Mhm.
meaning Munguia and Adames would have to go at it to go, considering Adames is the number one contender if Munguia wins this week. I mean, well, next month
Yeah, he's
or
got to
March. I
fight
mean,
against Balor. Yeah, yeah. You
so I
said
mean to be valid.
who's? Oh yeah, yeah. So if Canelo was to move up, he would leave the belts for someone to. I mean, even Benavidez. I mean, there was tweets of Benavidez coming out saying, you know,
Yeah,
he's
that
not
just
trying to.
happened.
Yeah, that did just happen. He's like, you know, not bad talking Canelo. Whatever Canelo did was great, but
But
either
vacate the
face
titles.
one of us or vacate the titles. You know, let us have a chance to fight for these belts.
Make
And
a
I
name for
get it.
ourselves.
Yeah, I definitely get it. I mean, is Canelo holding the belts hostage because he knows he can,
Well, not
or
really,
is he?
because I mean, he just won the titles in freaking November. I mean,
Yeah.
get the guy a fucking break.
I
I
mean,
mean,
he is the champion. I mean, it's either fight the next person up. I mean, the next person at 168, or leave the belts for the guys that want it as well, or move up. So I think that's what Benavidez means. I don't think like holding a ransom like these are my belts. He can't have them. I think you know, obviously for a champion, you want to see him keep fighting these guys that want to fight for that belt.
yeah, I mean, but I mean, Canelo could do whatever the hell he wants, just like everybody's saying now. It's like Dave Benavidez said. It's like Jose Benavidez said. Just like everybody has said. You know, I mean, it's just it's. I mean, it just works out, man. I mean, this fight really intrigues me only because of the styles and because of what could be at stake for either Charlo or set up Plant for another big fight at 168. But like I
Yeah,
said, I mean, they're gonna be fun to watch. I mean, the super middleweight is gonna be pretty fun to watch the next year here.
yeah, man. And I mean, yeah, we love Canelo, but I think if he was to leave 168 and go up, I mean, dude, that division would be absolutely crazy because no one's really fought each other. They've all been kind of waiting to hope that Canelo calls their name, but
And
none
they're
of them
gonna
have a
have
belt.
to. Now they're gonna have to. I mean, that's including a Boo Andrade. Now,
Hmm.
who I mean, everybody's been talking about 168. Even though he's gonna be the mandatory, which I don't understand because he hasn't fought at 160. You know, and he hasn't fought at 160. Um, there's marketable fights for him to fight at 160 exactly.
Hmm.
168 right now, I think it's too much for him. It's too much for him, to fight a Canelo who's at a way, way different level than him. I
Not that
mean,
far, but he's a
no,
couple
it's
levels above.
not. It's pretty far, bro. Like it's considering
He's
the
an Olympian as
resumes.
well.
Considering the
He is an
resumes, it's pretty far, bro. I mean, going up two weight classes, you could ask somebody like Mikey Garcia what happens. You could ask a lot of other
He did
fighters.
he did fight Earl Spence going up.
Yeah, I mean, but
He lost a top
that's a fight we question. That's a fight we question. Why the hell they do that? I mean, I knew it going up two weight classes, bro. It's a whole different ball game. Um, I mean, not taking nothing from Boo Boo, but he needs. There's fights at 160 that he should take before he even thinks about
There's
fighting
one
a
that should
Canelo.
have been made, of course, is the Munguia fight. And actually, Boo Boo is the 160 WBO champion at 160.
No,
So he has fought.
I thought it was all of them at 154 because 160 he fought a non-title holder.
Yeah, no, he's got the WBO belt right now.
Was it mailed?
I mean, I
Yeah,
don't know.
yes, it was. Thank you. Yes, it was. It was a male
It's a
WBO
belt, right?
title. So I
It's
mean,
definitely.
but it is a belt. I mean, yes, it is a belt, but it's a male belt. It's not against a liable champion, a liable contender. They fought for a title that was open.
Yeah.
It's nothing like, oh, he fought somebody huge. But I mean, personally, like I said, he needs to fight at 160, a real fight at 160. You have a Golovkin, you have a Munguia if he's ready for it, but Munguia's calling out Golovkin. Uh,
And Charlo.
and Charlo. I mean, but why why not Boo Boo versus Charlo? Why not Boo
I
Boo
think
versus
they've been trying to
Triple
make
G?
that.
Yeah, why
Yeah, I
not
think
versus
that
Triple G? I mean, just these names, or why not even, hey, our boy Gabe Rosado
I mean,
come
he's
up
calling
here.
them out, but I
Yep,
mean, we're talking about the guys that are ranked, right? Like we want him to
yeah,
fight. I
no,
mean,
for
yeah, Gabriel
sure.
Saul was a name. He did get a possible, candidate for knockout of the year last year, but the Daniel Jacobs fight is pretty questionable. And every time he has fought in competition or level of competition, unfortunately he's come up short. But you can't brag, you can't say nothing bad about Rosado because he's stepped up to the plate every single time that
Well, he's been in there
he's
against the best,
yeah.
literally.
But as
Like,
far as like, Charlo, I know Chris Mannix is big on wanting to try to make that Demetrius Andrade and Charlo at 160,
I
which
would
with
pay for that. I would pay for that shit. I would
yeah,
watch that one.
and the same thing I think with the Triple G, he's been calling these guys out for years. Why they haven't been made, like we don't know. I think if you're calling somebody out, it's not like okay, I'm gonna call this guy out and not want to fight him. I mean, he's
It's
been
just
calling
like
these guys out for a reason.
I sent you a thing earlier, like a thing about TC.
Mm.
It's pretty much like he's not made for the PP for the pay per view level.
No, I don't think
Why?
anybody really is right now,
Yeah,
other
well, yeah,
than Canelo.
exactly. Other than Canelo, I mean, that's what a lot of people are mentioning. You have a lot of people mentioning for like the boxing scene. Chris Mannix mentioned something too about it. About the level of pay per view. Like, will anybody really buy this? Like, or is it going to be more pirated than bought? I mean, this is I think is the case too with Boo Boo right now. Is he marketable? Do enough people know who he is? I mean, we obviously know who he is,
Mhm.
but there's a lot of people who are like who the hell is this guy? I mean, just recently people have found out who the hell Boo Andrade is.
I mean, a question I guess you could ask as well is the people that don't know who he is yet. I mean, are they really big boxing fans? Are they just only know like a Manny Pacquiao and a Floyd Mayweather and a Canelo? I mean,
but this is what I'm saying though. Like the marketable thing is what's,
and it's not like he's not trying to make
it. Yeah, I mean he's trying to make it all possible.
Yeah, I mean, I think to say, oh, he wants a payday. I mean, who the hell doesn't want a payday? And he's been calling out Canelo since 154, 160.
Yeah, but everybody wants the bag, bro. Like I said, it's the bag. It's always been about the bag.
And even then, I want, you know, same thing with, you know, the Canelo and Triple G at 154, 160. Those fights didn't get made until 160.
Yeah, but I mean, the bag was good on both ends. I mean, because everybody wanted to actually see
calling it a bag. I mean, who else are you supposed to fight? Who's like the best guy? If we take out the bag or the money or what, you know, whatever it is, the Canelo stimulus, like you strip that away.
I'm just saying, from a trainer standpoint and a freaking corner standpoint, Boo doesn't beat him, bro. Like it's. And
I said it too.
He won't even make him competitive. Like I'm sorry too. Like that's just another one too that just won't be competitive. Like I think Canelo right now is about to step on the gas and just tell everybody. He's gonna give them that finger, and he's just gonna beat the shit out of everybody in that division.
Yeah.
I mean, Boo-Boo's gonna. I mean, you said he's gonna be the first to knock him down. You're kidding me. I mean, Kovalev couldn't do it.
Golovkin,
and you can't say that this guy has more power than Triple G. You can't say Boo Andrade has more power than a Triple G. You can't. You honestly can't say that.
And it doesn't, you know what? And you know, in boxing, it's not just power. Like it's technique, where you land that shot, what led up to that. I'm not saying he's gonna knock him down where he's getting up stumbling. Look at what happened with Linares and Loma. It wasn't even a very powerful shot, but it was a shot where he caught him.
Yeah, that was a flash
at the right time, at the perfect time. Yeah, and those can happen.
Hard. But not against Canelo. You need something freaking hard. Like you need something beyond hard. I mean, Golovkin couldn't put it down with his hardest shot. No, I mean he almost did, but Canelo's chin is too damn tough for that.
Yeah, he does got a good chin, but was this the you know, the Triple G at 154, like when this fight was supposed to happen?
Yeah, but I mean it didn't. I mean, just get over it. Get over it. It didn't happen. It didn't happen, and like we said, I mean the fight happened. The fight happened. It's just like saying, it's just like going back and saying Castillo beat Floyd Mayweather, which he did.
He did. He beat the prime Mayweather.
Yeah, but hey, I mean, what happened? What happened? I mean, that's just like saying when Lara and Canelo went at it. I mean, I'd say that was Canelo's freaking closest freaking ass kicking, you know, other than the Mayweather.
And the first Triple G.
Yeah, I mean, that was a draw. Like I said, that was a draw. The first one, the second one was horrible, bro. Sorry, it's always gonna be that way. It's always gonna be like that for me. No one's gonna change that.
Yeah, because I mean,
but like I said, I mean, Boo he needs to take a fight at 160 to actually see if he has it against a top 10 guy, if he has it against even a top 5 guy, because he hasn't fought a top guy.
Yeah, and then it's not like, you know, it's not like he hasn't been asking for those fights. It's not like all of a sudden he came out of a gopher hole and said, "Hey, you know what, Canelo, what's up, man? Like, can you fight me? I want a payday." No, he's been calling people out. Not just Canelo. You can go back and look it up, bro. He was supposed to be Canelo's mandatory, or Canelo was mandatory at 154.
But Triple G came into the picture. Bigger fight. Bigger fight, bigger market.
160. I mean, we could go back and forth, dude, and it's not gonna go nowhere because you obviously see it Wayne way. I see it my way as well. And I'm not saying you're wrong or right, and I'm not saying I'm wrong or right, but I guess I'm not the only one that sees it that way. You're not the only one that sees it your way either. So like you have people on the fence, and I'm not saying that Demetrius Andrade is gonna like hurt Canelo where he's like hurt and like, oh shit, he's not getting up. Like I think it would be if it was a knockdown, it'd be like a flash knockdown. It's just timing. Demetrius Andrade isn't a stationary fighter. He can actually box. He's an Olympian as well, so he's got that boxer's pedigree. Like he's got good footwork. He's got a good straight left hand. He doesn't really throw any.
He's a natural righty.
He fights lefty really well.
As I'm saying, he's a natural righty, which is scary too. I mean, like I said, don't take that away from him. Mm-hmm. But like I said, I mean, it'll be like Caleb Plant. The first 2-3 rounds, you're gonna look good, and after that, bro, it's puzzle time. It's puzzle time, and you're going down. I mean, that's just.
It's gonna go 12.
I don't think so. It ends by 10. That's another fight too. That's going to end by 10 or 11, like Caleb Plant. That's just honest. That's just honest opinion, and I'm pretty sure 90% of the people see that too. I mean, that's a lot. And that's from a lot of trainer standpoints too. I mean, I'm not the first one that said that, and that's just a factual thing coming from trainers. I mean, that's actually see it. I mean, but yes, people want to see Canelo dethroned. It's like I tell people, it's not going to happen any time damn soon. He will not.
And there's trainers too that even professional fighters as well say the same thing, not just trainers or people that have been in corners or that been in boxing.
We understand that. I understand that too. I mean, I heard a lot of fighters.
You have people like Clarissa Shields. Yeah, like Clarissa Shields is. I mean, I definitely would take, her opinion pretty well. Like she felt pretty disrespected for Andre, like he wasn't nobody, which is pretty messed up because, like I said, he's calling out fighters. He's been wanting Triple G for I don't know how long. He's been wanting the Munguia fight for a long time. He's been wanting Charlo for a long time. He's been wanting Canelo for a long time. He's been wanting the top guys. So it's not like he just called these guys out and then went into hiding. It's been going on for years. Like it's been going on for a couple of years.
But like we said, the marketable thing in boxing, the politics in boxing, the economics in boxing are why he hasn't gotten these fights.
It's just maybe some of these, and not just those top guys, not just like Triple G or Canelo or Charlo. Not just them aren't the only ones that are not wanting the fights, but the guys below them as well. Anybody from like 1 to 10 or 1 to 5. It sucks that it's not happening. I think that's the thing about boxing is that hurts it a little bit is the politics and who they think should be getting the fight. I think when you look at a list, it obviously should be climbed like a ladder. That's the way it should be.
But now he has to fight Janibek, which he was trying to avoid that fight. But because we all know Janibek, I mean, considering his young pro career, but he has a way hefty amateur career, a very hefty amateur career, Olympian, 2-time.
Andre's an Olympian.
2-time. Not just one, 2-time. He has over 200 fights amateur. So I mean that says a lot about Janibek Amagnoli. I mean, not saying that Boo Boo is ducking the fight, because yes, he wants to seek the bigger fights, but I feel this is a good fight for him to show, okay, this is the dude right now that people are talking about more than me. Now it's time for me to show, okay, I'm ready to step on it a notch. Will he? We don't know. Will the purse bid get taken? By whom? We'll find out. Most likely the zone's going to take it, which I think they will. Yeah. I wouldn't see why not. Considering Boo Boo is a DAZN fighter. Matchroom, yeah, it's all there. I mean, it's just made to happen. But like I said, I mean, the Janibek and McNally fight really is intriguing. It's very intriguing. I mean, to us as boxing fans, if nobody knows who Janibek McNally is, best start getting to know him now because this fight's gonna happen. Regardless,
yeah, and
we'll find out.
As far as like the Matchroom and DAZN, as far as the Matchroom and DAZN, Eddie Hearn, of course, recognizes Janibek as is the mandatory, but he wants bigger. He wants something obviously what he feels Andre deserves, and it's the names. And Andre wouldn't be the first person or the last person to skip out or to not fight as mandatory and go for either a lesser opponent or go up to the next division. I think Janibek, obviously, eye test, damn good fighter. I mean, he
It's been
does
good.
everything really well. Southpaw, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it's been
Southpaw.
good. It's been good for like I
Yeah, it's
said,
been
the
so far.
shortcoming that he's been a pro.
Yeah, and then
I
the
mean,
guys he's beating, of course, that's what you want to see him do against that level of competition. And anytime a guy that's coming up, from his fifth fight on, like you want to see the progression, and it becomes a showcase. And that's exactly what you see is like it's a showcase. He's like destroying the guys he's supposed to beat.
and
Like
just like Andrade, he's a natural righty. So it's just
and that's
man, like two freaking southpaws going at it with natural right hand powers.
their power hand in the front,
Like
man. That's
what are you gonna get out of that fight? Are you gonna get a potential fight of the year, or are you gonna get a knockout?
that's great.
For me right now, I don't know what we're gonna get because I don't think I've seen Janibek in a firefight, but we have seen Boo Boo in a firefight against Liam Williams, which he shouldn't have freaking got into in the first place.
Mm.
I mean, he had no reason to get into that firefight with Liam Williams, which questions me a lot too on if he's ready for the 168-pound division, considering the fight was 3 years ago. 3 years ago. I mean, I understand it's been 3 years ago, but I
The
mean,
Liam's
looking
win.
at yeah, right, correct. Was it 2 years ago or 3 years ago? I think it was 3 years
Actually,
ago.
that
I think
was
it
last year.
was it last year.
It was
Okay, yeah. See,
2021.
so that's when he had trouble. And so yeah, it was last year. Yeah, it was correct, beginning of the year. So yeah, he had trouble with him, man, and that that right there kind of like showed me a little bit. Okay, Boo Boo, you're not ready for a guy like Canelo yet. That's why I want to see him fight. Like a Triple G, a Munguia, somebody that's like Munguia's still green too. I mean, to see him against Boo Boo would be pretty freaking gnarly. See two young, hungry fighters that want to keep their zero go at it would be good. I currently think Triple G is currently fighting for pride, not pride, but like legacy. In the division, that's what he's fighting for. I don't see him getting another title shot.
Triple G.
Because just because of
Yeah.
the age, and the amount of talent in the division. He's one of my favorite fighters, Triple G. But I just don't see him getting another title shot anytime soon, considering the amount of talent in the division right now.
Yeah. I mean, he pretty much did have one right in December, but that kind of got
But it got
sidetracked.
canceled. Yeah, I got sidetracked because of the COVID, the new variant, and the other
And
bull
in
crap.
Japan, in Japan, I guess just like they did in the UK, they suspended fights and events. I mean, you know what, and the thing is, Triple G does hold the IBF belt at 160, so
Which would intrigue me
yeah,
to see him fight Boo Boo
yeah, and
in that division.
I don't know why. Yeah, I would love to see that too. Like I said,
I mean, like I
why
said,
it's
not talking
why it's
bad
not
about
happening.
the dude. I mean, it's just, I mean, we need to see him against a level of competition before we could actually see him against the king.
Yeah,
Like not taking nothing from the guy, but
yeah,
that's
that's
just
exactly what I meant
that's
too.
just my opinion. I mean, I'm pretty sure you feel the same way too about that. I mean, I just feel he needs to face that level of competition now because he's 33, 34, right?
33.
30, yeah, Boo was 33. I mean, I didn't really realize he was that old until like this last fight. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah,
And
yeah, no, you're
but,
right. I feel like yeah, he should. He does. Just like the guys that just fought Canelo. They all did what they did or what he thought they did to deserve a shot at him. And I think
and they do.
the
I mean,
Janibek
they
fight.
did. They showed it. I mean,
Yeah, the
but yeah,
Janibek fight
Janibek. Go ahead.
is gonna be a tough one, man. It's definitely gonna be a tough one to really say because I don't know. I can't really say if Andrade fought somebody similar to that style or if Janabek fought a style similar to Demetrius. So it's kind of like they're fighting. I mean, they're right-handed fight. They're right-handed fighters boxing southpaw.
Boxing southpaw. I mean, but
So, and I'm sure they'll be looking for the lead hand. Yeah.
I really hope that fight gets made on the sake for Boo Boo, just to show the world, okay, take me to 160 now. Well, that is going to be a 160 fight anyway. So
Yeah.
I mean,
I think honestly,
take me on the
yeah.
road, take me on the road, should I say, in 160
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, for sure, man. I think honestly, what I think Andre should do is just stay at 160, and that's what Chris Mannix said. So like, I pretty much agree with Chris Mannix. Is he should stay at 160 at least for the rest of the year. Get the Jenovic fight out of the way. If
Plenty of
he
fights to be
happens,
made.
yeah,
Plenty.
if he gets past it, and Triple G, and if when Munguia feels like he's ready, fight Munguia. That those will be, and Charlo. But those, I mean, I don't know like the specs on it, but I know that as far as like the Charlo fight, there was money there that was offered. I don't know who didn't take the offering, but
Shit, I don't know either, but it's pretty crazy.
yeah, I know for sure that with as far as money being offered, like with the Canelo and Charlo, like Charlo was offered like the most money he was ever gonna make like a couple years ago against Canelo, and
Didn't take it.
didn't take it. Yeah, didn't take that fight. But as far as like Munguia, he's definitely won't be fighting Andre anytime soon because obviously he got his hands tied with this guy Demetrius Ballard, a different Demetrius. So until then, he'll fight a different Demetrius. In the meantime, he's got a fight on the 23rd of April.
Yep.
And yeah, man, I do want to see Boo Boo stay at 160 at least for the rest of the year. Just get a couple more names, I guess. At least one of the names that are out there. If you can get a Charlo or a Triple G or even a Munguia, he gets one of those names under his belts, then, and if he has something that Canelo wants, then that fight, there'd be no reason for them not to make that fight.
Well, that is true, man. I mean, hey, I mean, it's gonna be a fun one. So, George, I mean, you want to tell a little bit about our next episode? What we're gonna be talking about?
Oh yeah, man, for sure. We got Off the Ropes, top 10 pound for pound for 2022. So we'll be discussing our list that we both came up with each. So, Julian has his own top 10. I have my top 10. There's a couple of them
It's pretty
where
similar. It's pretty similar, but I mean, there's a couple of fights that we have different.
yeah,
It's
that
gonna be
one
a
that should
fun
be a
one.
fun one.
It's gonna be a great one, and you guys will see what pretty much we think should go down this year. Fight wise, what the people actually want to see, what we want to see. And we're also gonna do one for the UFC as well. So everybody be prepared on that one too, because that one's coming out uh, after as well too. I mean, because we're getting more into the MMA, UFC as well. Um, and just giving a shout out to Del Toro, man, Jesus Hermosillo, first fight in March, man, here in Tucson. So everybody show the support. Tucson's on your back, brother. So we got you.
Yeah. Go out there, man. Off the Ropes is behind you as
Yeah,
always.
we get you on here so people know who the heck you are, man. And like we said, just continue to show the support to our local fighters. The one that just fought this past weekend in the Silver Glove Championships in Compton. I mean, you have the Reyes Boxing Academy. You have the Robles Gym out there in Safford. I mean Florence. I'm sorry. Just a lot of different gyms, that attended, the Silver Gloves this past weekend. Like I said, everybody just jump on the ride with these kids. Um, it's important to us too, because like I said, I mean their support. We support what they do going into the ring.
Yeah, and shout out, of course, to Brawler. Little King Anthony. He actually sent me a message the other day for me to post, some of the things that he's done
Yeah.
like over 2021. And man, congratulations, dude. Keep going to everybody at that gym. Especially Jocelyn. You're young in your career. you're gonna taste a victory one day. We know you're very close to doing it, and we
I mean, you
support you
had
guys.
one already, but you're good. Like I said, once you get that first one, it's gonna keep rolling. So big shout out to all the gyms here locally from Southwest Boxing Gym. I mean, even everybody at Undisputed, Rise Combat Sports, Reyes Boxing Academy. Um, I can just go on, man, with Brawler 101. Geez Louise, there's just so many other different local gyms we could support. Azteca Gym, where I started back then. They're still going around.
Yeah, man, that one's been around a long time.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the old Tucson stables. Next to shout out to Jesse Haro. I mean, old trainer of mine, and showed me the ropes. With boxing. But like I said, I mean, everybody just continue to show support to us, subscribe, show support to these gyms. Join the gyms. I mean, they're looking to turn you either into a fighter or turn you into a better person, because that's what boxing does.
Yeah, it definitely does, man. Their gyms are available. It's a new year, 2022.
If you want to lose some
Find the
fat, I
better
mean, you could
you.
do that too. I know I do. so, so yeah, people. Like I said, I mean, this. I mean, it's always a pleasure, always a dang pleasure
Yeah,
with George. I mean, this is Julian. This is off the ropes, boxing and MMA, man.
yeah, exactly. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned. We actually got that episode probably sometime by the end of this week. A couple things we just got to finish ironing out on that episode, but for the most part, that thing's like 98% done. And we'll be doing episodes like this. We'll try to get in there a couple days a week. Like Julian said, thanks for watching, guys. Like, subscribe, share. We're trying to make a name for ourselves, and we love what we do, man. We love talking boxing, and that's what we're doing here. So everybody have yourself a good night, and we'll be talking to you guys soon. Peace.
He said.